lovely souls, and welcome to your eclipse reading. So, where I live in North America, we just had a total solar eclipse, but this is actually going to be a timeless reading referring to an energetic eclipse. So, whenever you see this is when you're meant to hear it. We will be having two piles. The first one is being represented by this little sun cat. As you can see, this very golden yellow, as well as the blue seashell, and finally the selenite card. The second pile will be represented by this little totality or solar eclipse where the sun is blocked out cat, as you can see here, as well as this little glass stone. It looks dark, but actually, if you shine a light through it, it's purple. And then finally, by this water card. So please take all the time you need and pick a pile. You may pick both piles, or you may go to pile 2 and then go back to pile 1. Whatever you feel called to do, know that the messages will come to you in the order in which you're meant to receive them. So with that being said, I am going to start with pile number 1. Hello pile number 1, and welcome to your reading. So this reading is being signified by the little sunshine cat, and we're going to put them right in this little corner so they can watch over our reading. First and foremost, before we get into your cards, I want to talk about your two other signifiers, or how you chose this reading. This one is a seashell that I actually found on the beach during the first vacation I ever took myself on. And so you may be stepping into a time in your life where you're really putting yourself first and where you're putting yourself out there. And so part of this eclipse energy may actually be this joyful celebration, but it could also be a little sad, because in order to put yourself first, you need to let go of everything else you were holding on to. So pile number 1, this may be a bittersweet transition for you. Another thing, we have the selenite card for you, and this can represent starlight or moonlight. And so it's interesting because you chose sort of the bright sunshine day card, but when I'm looking at this card, I'm hearing the sun is also a star. I know that's a book, and I believe it's also a movie. The story there may resonate with you. I believe it also has to do with bittersweet life journeys. So if those sound like they resonate with you, congratulations, this is your pile. If not, you may hear more designators further on, or this could be a sign for some of you where you weren't sure if you were going for pile number 1 or pile number 2, and you may want to switch over. That being said, you're more than welcome to stay. Alright, so we are going to start with the crystal cards. Actually, we're going to move this over here so that we have a bit more space. And we're going to start by looking at the transition of the eclipse, whether it be the astrological eclipse we just had, or simply an eclipse in your energy. One thing to note here is that eclipses are very sudden endings and beginnings. It may almost feel like being interrupted. And so we will be having two main areas of focus. It's what has ended and what has begun, what the eclipse removed from your life and what it has brought into your life. Alright, I'm going to shuffle these one more time. And I will be calling on your guides for this reading. And so those can be your angels, your spirit guides, the universe. I'll be asking that whatever energy you work with comes through. And I will be using spirit or guides as a universal term for that energy. So, the guides of pile number 1, please give us some signifiers for what has ended and what has begun. Thank you. You've got that one in the middle. That one wants to get clarified. Okay. I'm hearing for some of you breaking point when I said this is a very sudden change in energy. It could have been something that's been building up for a long time. Okay. You've also got a lot of reversals. Pile number 1, a lot of you feel like your world has been turned upside down, and that's why you're here in this reading for advice. So we're going to go through these cards to get a better grasp of the situation, and then we're going to get you some advice from the tarot and from the personal power oracle. Let's start from left to right. The card you have upright in what has ended is blue lace agate. That's kindness, communication, peaceful outcomes, love, and marriage. And that is being clarified by Amazonite, which is solace, healthy lifestyle, clear communication, and balance in reverse. Okay. Several of you have just ended a relationship. And it's one of those things, simultaneously, the actual end was very sudden, but I hear your guides saying it's been a long time coming. I think that's where we've got this bittersweet energy at the start of this reading, pile number 1. This relationship that ended was not good for you. It was not fair. It was not kind. It was not just. And I think you've already begun making peace with that. It's it's one of those things where you knew but you didn't know. Sometimes some things in life, they build up slowly, and then when a final piece is revealed, you cannot unsee a situation. And so you've had this sudden ending of what you thought was going to be the rest of your life. Looking at how that ending happened, we have black obsidian in reverse. That is strength, support, stress relief, and clearing negative energy. I'm seeing almost like a shrouded figure in this card. There may have been a third party. You also have titanium rainbow quartz in reverse. That's awakening, manifestation, vibrancy, and a powerful shift. There were two parties in this split. One was very closed off and protected, and the other was very vibrant. Interestingly enough, this protection may have been you near the end of things. You were closed off and you were protected. You're trying to protect yourself, protect your energy. You may have been a little bit shut down. And part of the problems were caused by this character in reverse. I keep hearing childish. So while you're very calm, slow, reserved, they were kind of all over the place, pile number 1. I am so sorry. Okay. Let's see what's coming in after this shift. So Tiger's Eye, luck, willpower, creativity, and overcoming fear in reverse. This could mean that it's still coming. It hasn't quite arrived yet. You may still be dealing with the aftermath of this change. And you have golden or gold sheen obsidian, personal power, spiritual manifestation, earth healing, and new experiences. Also in reverse. I mean, almost in the wings. It's interesting to note that you have this black obsidian representing you being protected, and in the future you have a golden obsidian. And it might be that's some joy coming back into your life after all of this. So we are going to get some advice, but also just some, I'm hearing just words you need to hear from your guides, from Spirit. So, and we'll go through and cover each of these areas. This may be something where you've made the decision, you've started moving, but you still need, sometimes it helps to hear someone say it. And your guides want to do that right now. So, alright. What do pile number 1's guides want to say regarding this? Okay. Very much moving on energy. Alright, this way. I want us to look at those last. It's interesting. Alright. Goodness gracious. Keep or stay? Okay. Well, the good news is you have a lot of beautiful energy and strength in your future. If this was a partner in your future, I think you will get together with someone else. You have options. Okay, you have a very sassy guide. They're like, you have options. They want you to know that. They want you to be able to feel this hope and this joy. Now that you've gotten all of this over with, yes, it was awful, yes, it hurt, but now you have options. So, I love you guys. They are not downplaying, because this was clearly very painful. They don't want to downplay your experience, but they are very excited for your future, and those things can exist at the same time. So, yes, with this we have 7 of Swords in reverse. It almost feels like the reason this may have felt sudden is that you weren't really in the kind of relationship where you fight, so to speak. There was this low simmering energy, and then there was a split. It wasn't like constant fire and screaming all the time. It was just below the surface constantly. You have strength in reverse. Your guys want to tell you there is no universe in which you being quote-unquote strong enough would have made this work. This isn't on you. There is no amount of strength that would have been able to put these pieces together. It simply doesn't fit. You tried, pile number 1. You tried with everything you had. And it's not that you weren't enough. It's not that it wasn't enough. It's that it simply wasn't possible. And then finally, to clarify with this ending situation, you have the Chariot, which you may want to take a note of the little pentacle necklace that this horse is wearing. You can see it mirrored later in You're the future of your reading. After everything you've been through, pile number one, you do have this hope. It's like this spark in your chest that's telling you that you deserve better, and that's guiding you forward. And Spirit wants you to follow it, because on the other side of this upheaval, you do have the King of Pentacles, or the Father of Pentacles, as well as the King of Wands. Now, this can be comfort, home, stability. This is more physical things, physical aspects, finances, and wealth, whereas the Wands are passion and creativity and joy. These could also represent, like I said earlier, two options, two people in your future. And yes, this hope is guiding you towards your future of options. Now we do have these cards that your guides wanted me to read last. So let's read them in the order they were given. Okay, that's the Eight of Cups in reverse. That's a card of sorrow, a card of mourning. Pile number one, when the split finally happened, you may have been very practical with it. That could also be why there's this cloak of protection with obsidian. You may not have been in a situation where you were able to cry. You may be very practical and unfeeling about what's happening to you right now. You may need to be. Pile number one, the previous reading on my channel, if you're coming from that and you're the same group, welcome back, and I'm very sorry that this is happening to you. There was a very similar situation in a self-love reading I did. If you aren't coming from there, it may help you if you're called to it. But yes, eventually, when the dust settles, so to speak, give yourself the time and the space to feel and release all of these heartbreaks. It feels like the overall situation is significant for your life, but almost feels like there are all of these tiny little heartbreaks that happened along the way, and you've been trying to be strong enough to hold them all. And sometimes you need that kind of strength to get through to the other side of where you're going. But when you get there, give yourself time to assess all of these little heartbreaks and see where you can heal those pieces of yourself. Yes, that's crossed by the Nine of Cups. That is emotional fulfillment, joy, peace, love. Yeah. Some of these cups you will leave in the past. Some of them you will pick up, put together, and take with you. And also, on the road to the future, you will find more things that bring you joy and hope and life again. And then we have the Eight of Wands. Some of this rebuilding is going to happen very quickly. This is a lightning strike. You could also experience an overwhelm of emotion, especially if you've been stuck in survival mode. You'll find a moment where you're safe, you're taken care of, and then suddenly it's like the floodgates open and all of this emotion comes rushing back. That is a stage of healing, and your guides need to know that they have you in this moment, that they're with you, that they're protecting you, and that they're taking care of you when this rush happens. Alright? We're going to get you a couple personal power cards. Self-love may be a very important thing moving forward for you. Pile number one. And going back to the seashell you picked at the beginning, truly putting yourself first. Maybe you literally need to take yourself on that vacation. Take yourself to the beach and find the seashells and look at the waves. And give yourself that care and that love in that space. Because you're a very caring and loving person, pile number 1. You have this power in spades. And you've been giving it to something that doesn't deserve you. Okay? Alright. Let's get 3, I think. 3 personal power cards, pile number 1, that they can carry with them through to this next phase of their life. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna split the deck. This one. This one. I do not read these in reverse. Alright. Got some beautiful cards, pile number 1. So the first one you have is, I tune out negative people and thoughts. There may be some people in your life who have, your sassy guide is back, they're saying opinions about this and how it ended. If you are getting a divorce, you may come from an old school background or family where they think that is not a correct path, and your guides are encouraging you quite strongly to tune out negative people and thoughts. This is your life. These are your choices. You are choosing you. What someone over there who has not lived your life, who has no idea who you are or what you're doing, someone over there has no input on how you use your life, how you live your life. So tune them out. Get some nice headphones, get yourself a cup of boba tea if you like that, and live your life, pile number 1. You may want to block some people on social media, I'm hearing, for at least 2 of you. I don't know why the number 2 is. Why am I hearing 2? Aha. Some of you have very opinionated in-laws. Block them on your social media. It will make your life a lot nicer. Alright, and then you have I am good enough. Pile number 1, this is your mantra moving forward. Everything that happened with this and this person, it was never about you. You are enough, you have always been enough. You are good enough, and you are taking yourself through into a beautiful new life. And that is where we have I am authentic. Some of you may want to actually, I'm hearing glow up for some of you. You may want to revamp your wardrobe. You may want to buy that beautiful jewelry that you always thought looked amazing and that you never got because you were worried about what this person would think or they didn't like it. Who cares about them? When you express who you are, your genuine, beautiful soul, when you are authentic to yourself, it is the most beautiful thing in the world, pile number 1. It's can't be replicated, can't be faked. This genuine expression of your soul is stunning, and your guides love you. And they want you to know that this genuine expression of yourself will attract someone that you actually want to be with. Someone who will appreciate who you are for you. Where did the Chariot go? You've picked up this piece of yourself, this light, and you can see here it's very muted. You have it, you're holding it, you're taking it with you, but you aren't really allowing yourself to express it. And moving forward into your life, you will truly get to express and experience the things that you enjoy, that make your soul light up. And your guides are so thrilled that you've taken this step into the future. Again, this has been a very difficult transition, especially because back at the start of this, before the split happened, you thought this was going to be forever. And it's not. And when the time comes, when you can work through that heartbreak, your guides will be with you. And when that's been worked through, and healing is not a linear process, it will take time, it may pop up in the future. But when you finally moved on into this new path where you're headed, it will truly be a much more beautiful life for you, pile number 1. Oh, wow. Pile number 1. Take time to heal. I am so sorry that you had to go through this awful experience. Remember who you are. Remember that you are enough and that you are beautiful. And let that beautiful soul guide you through into a much more beautiful life. Thank you for letting me read for you, and I would love to hear where you go from now. Alright, bye pile number 1. Hello pile number 2, and welcome to your eclipse reading. So if you chose the black cat or the eclipse in totality, then this reading is for you. And so we're going to start with your signifiers. We have the card of water. This is emotional, intuition, psychic powers, and healing. And also in the deck I'm using, it's this crystal deck. There are only 4 element cards, so the number 4 may be significant for you. That could confirm that you've picked the right pile. And then we have the glass pebble. And I mentioned earlier in this reading that although it looks black, it's actually purple glass. Let's see if I can get it to shine through the candle there. There we go. So this is a purple glass pebble. And that could be, some of you may be readers or have psychic intuition. You may also just be very spiritual people yourselves. And some of you may just have a black cat. I also have a black cat, and he stares at corners sometimes, and I'm sure he's looking at something, but I can't see it. So if any of those resonate with you, also if you have a kitty, let me know. Welcome to your reading. So I am going to move this over to the corner so that they can watch over our reading. And we're going to make some space for the rest of your cards. So we are going to have 2 main areas. What has ended and what has begun. And eclipse energy can be very sudden. It can almost feel like interrupted energy, or you blink and it's gone, you blink and it's here kind of energy. It's very sudden because the eclipse, although if you think about it, it's the planets moving, and in this case the moon and the sun lining up, and they've been making that circle, that dance, for quite a while. The actual moment of totality that's represented here by this cat, when the world goes dark, so to speak, it's a few moments when that happens, a few minutes. So it can feel very sudden. So we are going to get an overview of what has exited your life and what has entered your life, and I will be asking your guides, calling on your guides for this reading. And so I use the terminology guides or spirit, but I will be calling whatever energies, entities, deities, angels, whatever you work with is what we'll be calling in and channeling for this reading. So rest assured that the guides you work with, I will be using guides as a general term, are the ones answering your questions here. Some of you have very specific questions. We'll get into that later. We'll hopefully clarify this with some of the tarot. But yes, so calling on the guides, pile number 2, please. Okay, show us what has ended and what is beginning, or has begun, I should say. Okay. A lot has gone. Okay, that's enough cards. We can get some more later. The other side of this eclipse for you, pile number 1. And there's apologies, I called you pile number 1. I mean pile number 2. If you are called to both, feel free to go to both, but I'm going to continue with pile number 2. The other side of this eclipse for you, pile number 2, there is a lot of stuff happening. So let's get started over here. It's fun, when I was shuffling your cards earlier, this came out. So you have Amber, Harmony, Home Protection, Calm, and Attracting Love, as well as Moldavite, Healing, Protection, Telepathy, and Connection. Both of those are in reverse. In this instance, I believe it's not a negative connotation, but it's actually past energy. And one interesting thing, I actually am wearing a Moldavite ring. So if you noticed that in the intro, then that is some confirmation for you. Alright, pile number 2. I think that the change that has happened for you is life journey transitions. Some of you may have just moved away from home or bought a house. Just moving in general. It could also be an apartment. But yes, there's some of you. You may have just left your parents' house and have started college. Or I believe there is graduation coming up for some of you. Alright. So, life transitions, moving into a new phase of your life. And this could have been a long period of time, like 18 years for your childhood, or it could have been 4 years for your degree. And so again, we have that slow building up energy, and then boom, it's moving day. Boom, it's graduation. Your life can be split from before and after this point. So, now that we've seen before, let's look at after. This one wants to come out like that. Turquoise, leadership qualities, clear communication, prosperity, and success. Alright. This card was also in pile number 1. So that may be confirmation for you. Alright, so we have turquoise, leadership qualities, clear communication, prosperity, and success. With this leadership, if you've just joined college, you may be looking into a society, either a sorority, fraternity, or perhaps even an academic, sort of like an honor society. That will be worth pursuing. Just do it. Your guides are saying, just do it. Just send the application already. You know you're a good fit. You know you have the skills to do it. You know it'll teach you something. Just do it. They're like, this could be, this guide specifically feels like a family member that has passed on. They're very, very supportive. You may be, some of you are the first generation going to college, and they're stoked. Pile number 2, are you coming from my previous reading, my self-love reading? I feel like we've got the same guides in the room right now. Some of you are not, and that is wonderful. But someone is back. Welcome back. Your loved ones are very supportive and very proud of you. But you knew that already. Alright. Your next card is Iolite. This is magic powers, feminine divine, work connections, and inspiration. You may also, especially if you're just starting, you may feel that it's too early. If your school has a career fair, go. Trust me. Even if they will not give you an internship until you're a sophomore, go as a freshman. Recruiters are actually very impressed when you show that initiative. Put yourself out there. It'll work out well for you. Up next we have Golden or Gold Sheen Obsidian in reverse. Personal power, spiritual manifestation, earth healing, and new experiences. Now this is in reverse because this one is happening a little further in the future. You know, we were talking about this sort of split with instantaneous quick energy. This one is moving in a little more slowly. Part of this I'm hearing is confidence. You may right now be in this fake it till you make it kind of mindset, but as you get more experience in these areas, you will gain that confidence and truly come into your own. Pile number 2. And then we also have Angel Light in reverse. This is angel communication, clairvoyance, alignment, and dream insights. I feel like this is a very education-centric reading, so we're just going to roll with it. You may not be sure if you're in the right major, and part of what will show you the way, because especially if it's your first semester, you pick one, you apply, you get in, you run to the dorm, and you're like, okay, I made it to college, I'm here, they can't kick me out now, I made it. And then as soon as you hit that point, you're like, oh, do I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an astrophysicist? Do I really want to be in nursing? Do I really want to be in liberal arts? Do I really want to be a journalist? This is that point in life where you start asking yourself, okay, I finally made it to the milestone. Now, where did I really want to go from here? And these experiences, and honestly, just making it through your first few semesters, will give you this confidence and this knowledge, this assurance on where you're going. Pile number 2, it is completely normal to have no idea what you're doing. All of these milestones in life, everyone's like, okay, I will have it all put together by the time I move out of my parents' house. And then you get there and you still have no idea what you're doing. I will have it all put together by the time I graduate. And you will graduate, and you will get your first job, and you will sit at your desk, and you will have a sudden shocking moment where you realize that you have no idea what you're doing. Pile number 2, this is a completely normal and beautiful experience. And the more times you go through that experience of realizing that you made it to the milestone and you're completely and utterly confused, the funnier it will get. Because that is one of the beauties of life. And so the first few times you do it, which is what it feels like you're going through right now, can be rough. Because everyone, for some reason, throughout your life has told you that everything will make sense if you just get to this point. And I hate to break it to pile number 2, but they are also trying to fake it till they make it. They have no idea. So, that being said, we are going to get some advice from your guides for each of these areas. And then after this, I will actually, some of you have questions. So I will pull a few cards for those questions after this. But right now, we're just going to get some clarifiers, what specifically your guides want to tell you about each of these phases of your life. What's ending, and Okay. Some of you, this is probably going to be very specific, you have someone who passed on, or perhaps is still alive but you're not in contact, and they sent you like the make it rain emote. They don't actually want me to read these cards, they just want me to make the cards rain. So, whoever that is, they're thinking about you, they care about you, they are wishing for your success. And they're very funny. Alright. What do your guides have to say about this phase of your life that has ended? Four of Wands. Okay. Yeah, this was home. You may have actually had a nice home life, and so maybe you're moving into the dorm, and it's tiny, and it's cramped, and you have this weird roommate, and you miss having your own room. Something like that. Yeah. So there is some beauty from home that you miss. You may also just be feeling a bit homesick at the moment. Then you have the Mother of Cups in reverse. Your guides are saying she's not as far away as you she's not as far away as you think. Okay. For some of you, this is literally your mother, and you feel like they're at home and you're in this strange new land. You're absolutely having this new beginning, and you feel, I'm hearing the I'm just a baby meme, which absolutely, if you're just starting college, you're just a kid, you just got out here, and so you have in this home, in this past, a mother figure, and although they are not like right there, like down the hall anymore, Spirit wants you to know that this figure is just one call away. And so when you're feeling this homesickness, when you're feeling kind of a little spooked, a little startled out in this new experience, you can still call home. Even though this is one phase of life in the past and one phase of life in the future, that doesn't mean that everything over here just stops existing. You can call home, pile number 2. And this may be a mother, or this may be just a nurturing figure. For some of you, this is actually, you may have started at community college. This is just a professor. Well, I say just a professor. This is a professor who helped you get to whatever college or university you're at. You can always reach out, and it would really help with this homesickness you're feeling. So in this future, we're gonna start with this card. Is that upright or in reverse? Okay. I'm gonna need some more info there, Spirit. This Father of Swords, can you clarify that for me, please? What is this referring to? And this 10 of, like that. Thank you. Okay. Spirit, please explain this to me. Okay, pile number 2. You may have, okay. Yep, okay. You may have a professor, for one of you it's an RA, that you've gotten unwanted attention from. It's definitely a figure you view as authority, and when I say unwanted attention, I do not mean in any sort of creepy, stalkery, illegal way. If any of that is happening, report it. Don't wait. If someone is genuinely making you feel uncomfortable, report it. With this specifically, you may have had some trouble moving in, like the box fell down the stairs or something, and so in passing, It feels like you know partially that this was a joke, but an RA or something might have said, like, I've got my eye on you, or you're a troublemaker. Or a professor could have said something like, this person is the smartest in class, and now you feel like you need to live up to that standard. And the reason both of these cards are kind of like toppling on each other in reverse is that you know that it's not actually malicious. If you feel like it's malicious, this message isn't for you. Go talk to someone, go get help. With this, it's like a passing joke where it's like, this is the smartest person in class, or I've got my eye on you, you're a troublemaker, sort of thing. So despite the fact that you know that it wasn't actually in jest, or in seriousness, it was in jest, so to speak, you've kind of gone on a bit of a spiral with this, where it's like, oh my gosh, my first day on campus, I dropped a box down the stairs, it fell on the RA's foot, what on earth am I doing? I want to go home. I can't believe this is how my experience started here at college. What the heck? That's what this feels like. And that actually might be why you're here, pile number 2. With this card, it's talking to someone with experience, a counselor, that could be a person, that could be your guides. And you just need to hear someone say, it wasn't that big of a deal. No one is actually seeing you as a troublemaker. You've got nothing to worry about, file number 2. And you've got the 7 of Cups, as well as the 6 of Pentacles to the Empress. And this is more just your journey ahead. Right now you've got a lot of options, and those options will make a lot more sense by taking little steps. One day at a time, the pieces will get put together, and you'll go from this branch to a beautiful tree. And that's what these cards have to say. Alright. Whatever this was, like, I'm seeing this tumble. I really feel like for some of you, something fell downstairs, and that's why you're worried about it. Genuinely, pile number 2, no one holds it against you. It happens, okay? Stuff like that happens all of the time, especially on moving day. Yeah, wow, alright. So pile number 2, a few of you had questions. I'm going to say 1, 2, and 3. Please pick one of those numbers so we can direct your guides to the correct pile and try and split this up. Alright, to the guides of pile number 2, when they have questions, please, that would be number 1. Help us answer them. 2 and 3. 3 for 3. Alright. So for pile number 1, this is the Ace of Pentacles. So if you asked a yes or a no question, this is yes. For some of you, you are asking specifically about finances, and this is also going to be a yes there. You may get an offer for a new job or a work study or a scholarship. So you will need to, like, this tree stump is in the ground, so you will need to go out in the woods to see it. But the opportunity is there. It will be taken care of, is what I'm hearing. For option number 2, pile number 2, you have the Death card in reverse. This would correspond to no. And I'm hearing specifically it's not over. Any more detail there? Nope. That should answer your question. Alright, and for question number 3, how are we laying these out? Getting the Shuffle. 3 cards. They're shuffled. Okay. We have no. Look elsewhere. Alright. Son of Swords in reverse, 5 of Cups, and 2 of Wands. Yeah. Simple. The answer is no. Look elsewhere. Keep walking, is what I'm hearing. Alright. Let's clean some of these cards up, and we're going to get 3 personal power cards that you can carry with you through this journey. I'm gonna leave all of your crystals out because they're pretty. Alright. And personal power cards. Alright. Pile number 2, Spirit, please give us 3 personal power cards that will help them on their journey. Also, pile number 2, please note that I do not read these cards in reverse, so however they come out, no need to worry about it. Pile number 2, you may worry quite a bit. You may have some anxiety. It might be worth setting up a small routine. It can even be a couple minutes, so where you can like maybe doodle or do some breath work just to calm down. You've had a lot change in your life recently, and it's worth slowing down for a few moments just to allow your body and your mind to regulate and get back to a baseline. Alright. Pile number 2, please. 3 personal power cards. Okay. I trust my intuition. You know more than you give yourself credit for, pile number 2. Trust yourself. Someone may have told you that you have like a crazy idea or a wild idea. One of you is considering doing a double major, and people have told you that's a horrible idea. If you know that it's what you want to do, go for it. Nothing can stop you. Alright. And then you have I am a healer. Some of you may be considering working in medicine. But also pile number 2, what we were talking about just a moment ago with regulating and taking a moment for yourself. There may be a yoga class or yoga club on campus. It might be worth a check, might be worth looking into to see if that helps give you some more peace and comfort. And then I can change my thoughts. This is what we were talking about earlier, pile number 2. With all of that worry, you can let that worry go. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're strong, you're intelligent, you're starting this beautiful new journey. You can let some of this worry and this doubt go. Alright. Pile number 2. Have a wonderful journey through the next phase of your life. Congratulations on moving forward. Remember to take some time and get yourself centered and grounded, because it feels like you're getting swept away in all of this sometimes. And remember, you got this. Pile number 2. You got this. Alright. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you liked this, please drop a like, let me know. If you did just join school, first of all, congratulations. If you're willing to share, let me know your major. I'd love to know what you're studying. And honestly, have a beautiful life, pile number 2. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.